Hi, I'm Ryan, and I'm a postdoc in the School of Community and Regional Planning at UBC. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about the CHIRP research initiative our team has been working on over the past couple of years and show the progress we've made as we approach the launch of our first public project. CHIRP is an outreach and engagement project funded through MEOPAR's Knowledge Mobilization Fund and UBC's Community University Engagement Support Fund. The primary goal behind CHIRP is to help Canadian communities to share hazard-related information with their residents, so that those residents can learn about, prepare for, and respond to local emergencies should there ever be a need. Basically, we wanted to answer the question, what would happen if we made it quicker and easier for community residents to prepare for local hazard threats? For phase one of the project, our team partnered with 7 communities on Vancouver Island to learn about some of the barriers and issues faced by different types of communities, from tiny remote villages to large urban centers. Together, we identified a basic template of information residents need to better understand and prepare for future hazard-related events. We explored how best to share this information with their residents and what actions residents could take to become more hazard resilient. We spent the next 18 months working with our partners to collect, prepare, and communicate this information as quickly and easily as possible, something that was quite a challenge during an international pandemic. This work resulted in the development of a mobile app to help educate Canadians about local hazard risk and to assist residents with the creation and implementation of emergency preparedness and response plans. The app provides community and household level information taken from community planning documents, emergency response plans, and hazard risk assessments, and communicates that information via short and simple profiles written specifically for each partnering community. It collects information on user households through simple forms to better understand the unique needs of each family and to structure emergency plans adapted to meet those needs. The first public version of the CHIRP app will be rolling out to residents of 6 pilot communities starting in early 2022, beginning with the village of Tassos and the district of Tofino. For each hazard identified as significant by our community partners, we develop community-level risk ratings based on the most recent risk assessments. We supplement this with expert summaries written by leading Canadian experts describing what the hazard is, along with a brief overview of hazard risk across Canada, and a detailed description of the hazard risks for each of our partner communities. Where warning and notification systems are present, such as for tsunamis, we link to the websites users can visit to learn more about these systems and to register to receive emergency alerts by email or mobile notifications. Where detailed risk assessments and hazard exposure mapping exists, our geospatial models establish hazard risk exposure ratings for each residential property in the community, based on their proximity to identified hazard zones. For example, in the district of Tofino, shown here, CHIRP allows residents to determine if their home is located within local tsunami inundation or coastal flood zones. Users will receive different preparedness and response instructions based on if their home is located within, near, or well outside of these hazard zones. To provide relevant preparedness and response instructions, our team needed to develop a data set of possible preparedness and response actions and items that could be included in emergency kits. To do this, we've begun building a growing open source data set of emergency preparedness and response actions, collected from authoritative sources from Canada, the US, and abroad. We've reviewed and updated language to follow risk communication best practices. We also supplement the dataset with community-specific actions unique to each of our partnering communities based on their local emergency and evacuation plans. The dataset contains actions applicable to most households and others that target specific hazards, locations, or household characteristics. To determine which actions are appropriate for a given household, CHIRP collects information for a user's home, vehicles, family members, and pets. This profile includes information on their age, physical and mental disabilities, medical and mental health conditions, assistive aids such as wheelchairs, non-native speaker status, LGBTQ+ status, whether they're recent immigrants, have pets, are a carless household, or have a home with a basement or crawl space. Privacy is also paramount, so all user information is stored only on their devices and their encrypted iCloud storage. Our team only receives a monthly ping containing broad categorical data in an anonymous and aggregated form. All of this comes together in the form of hazard exposure data, emergency response planning database, and their household characteristics on their device, and it helps to produce customized preparedness and response plans and help them to develop their own emergency kits based on the hazards they're likely to face. When combined, the population of our pilot communities is about 140,000 people, living in about 62,000 households. Given that iOS penetration is approximately 55% of households in Canada, this represents about 34,000 households in our pilot communities. If only 10% of potential households make use of the Chirp mobile app to become better prepared, that still represents 3,400 additional homes, or about 7,100 residents contributing to their community's resilience. Public interest in Chirp has been high, and the project has been highlighted in at least 10 newspaper articles and podcast, TV, and radio interviews since late September. UBC Media chose to highlight Chirp as part of their initial coverage of the UN Climate Change Conference held in October and November. Chirp was and continues to be discussed in the context of the significant flooding event that occurred across the BC Lower Mainland this November and is early in their recovery phase. As we look forward, Phase 2 of the project will include 3 key components: the development of an Android version, expansion to new communities and new provinces, and additional hazard profiles for new hazards such as hurricanes, tornadoes, and avalanches. Several communities have already reached out about joining the project in BC, and we've shared information to several others to see if it would be a good fit for their residents. So that's the Chirp project, helping Canadian households to learn about, prepare for, and respond to hazard threats in their communities. Thanks for listening. You can learn more about Chirp at the website shown on your screen or by emailing me at ryan.reynolds@ubc.ca. Have a great day.